This happened about 20 years ago. I was 9 years old at the time, but my parents have also told me their side of this story on a bunch of different occasions, so that should help. My parents are both biologists. They met at work, and from there it was history. The place where they worked at the time was a government building dedicated to biology research, used in government projects, turned towards the public. Meaning they were the ones studying the environment and making environmental protection laws around their studies. This being a massive old government building, it always had a security guard present, day and night. During the day, these security guards would mostly just stay at the reception and greet people, but at night, they would go do their rounds and make sure there were no intruders, because of all the science equipment and computers kept in the building. Initially, one of the guards seemed like the nicest person. He was always really nice to me, and frankly, all the memories I have from him before this were really nice. He would greet me and talk to me in the nicest way every time my parents brought me to work. He would make me paper planes, which he was surprisingly good at, and throw them around with me. And he would stay with me at the reception on days my parents had to work in the night. Obviously for me, that would get really boring really fast, so he'd keep me company and entertain me. Mostly we would talk, play with the paper planes, and watch TV. It all seemed nice enough. Nice enough for my parents to trust him with me, which was probably their biggest mistake. One night, my parents had to work even later than usual. I think it was around 10 p.m. and they were still at it. So this guy who was on the night shift decided to take me around the building with him to do his rounds. We started on the top floor, checking all the rooms in the exterior part of the roof. Every room was so dark that I'd always stay a little behind and wait for him to turn on the lights. Then we stepped down to the second floor where my parents' office and labs were. We checked the opposite side of the building, going into labs with massive extractors, microscopes, and every kind of science equipment you might think of. We walked down the stairs to the first floor, where most of the administration rooms were. I still remember seeing some maps on the walls, and embalmed fish everywhere, serving as decorations. The first floor was all clear, so it was time to check the 2 basement levels. I thought it would have made sense to check the labs on the right side first, as the left side had a flight of stairs at the end, leading up to where my parents were, but for some reason, he decided we go check that side first. We checked all the labs, but I noticed his pace was accelerating, and he was starting to look and sound happier. Excited even. Once again, we checked all of the labs, all the corners from one end to the other, turning the lights on ahead of us and turning them off behind us when we left. When we got to the last area, he turned all the lights on, and he went inside. There were 3 separate offices on each side of the lab, and on the first one, he hurried towards the printer, opened it up, took out 2 pieces of paper, and made 2 quick paper planes. That's when everything changed. He picked up one of the planes, went outside of the office, and threw it towards the end of the room. Then he told me the one he just threw was mine and that we could throw them around